guys. So we're gonna, let's see, Moses is gonna go ahead and do it. God was ticked off at him a little bit, but he said he could use Aaron, so Moses is gonna go talk to Pharaoh. So he returns to Egypt. That's what it's talking about today. So then Moses went back to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said to him, "Let me go back to my own people in Egypt to see if any of them are still alive." So Jethro said, "Go, and I wish you well." Now the Lord had said to Moses in Midian, "Go back to Egypt, and all the men who wanted to kill you are dead." So what I was saying earlier last time about maybe he didn't want to go because he's afraid. Apparently God knew that, and he's setting the record straight and letting Moses know not to worry about it, because everybody that knows that you killed somebody's dead. Alright, so Moses took his wife, his sons, put them on a donkey, and started back to Egypt. And took his staff, the staff of God, in his hand. So the staff's really important. Now I noticed that when they did that Prince of Egypt, they really picked up on the staff. With this staff you'll do wonders. And that's pretty true. That's what it looks like. He called it the staff of God. The Lord said to Moses, "When you return to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders I have given you the power to do." God gave Moses power to do wonders. Pretty cool. Gives us power to do wonders, to heal the sick, to cast out demons. "But I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go. Then say to Pharaoh, 'This is what the Lord says, Israel is my firstborn son. Let my son go, that he may worship me. But if you refuse, I will kill your firstborn son.'" Now, God doesn't do that for a really long time. There's lots of plagues, but basically this is the end. He's telling them what's going to happen in the end. Just as he promised Moses, he told Moses, "This is going to happen. You're going to say let him go. Pharaoh's not going to let him go. And then I'm going to bring lots of plagues, and you're going to leave with tons of money. You're going to plunder the Egyptians." God told him all that before he even went back to Egypt. And now he's telling Pharaoh, if you don't let my people go, I'm going to kill your firstborn. And that's the very last thing God does. He does 10 plagues. The last plague was killing the firstborn. And God's just telling him what's going to happen. And do you think this happens in our lives? If you ever feel like God tells you, if you do this, the path is going to be bad, gives you a warning. Hey, it's like in chess, check. Fixing to lose. Checks our spirit, checks our heart, tells us we need to get back on the right course. But Pharaoh, not knowing the Lord, he's not going to pay any attention. So at a lodging place on the way, well, this is the part that doesn't make any sense, so we'll skip it. I don't understand it. It's kind of gross. So bricks without straw. Next topic. After Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said, "This is what the Lord says. The God of Israel says, let my people go, so that they may hold a festival to me in the desert." Pharaoh said, "Who is the Lord that I should obey him and let Israel go? I do not know the Lord, and I will not let Israel go." Then they said, "The God of the Hebrews has met with us. Now let us go 3 days' journey in the desert to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God, or he may strike us with plagues and with the sword." But the king of Egypt said, "Moses and Aaron, why are you taking the people away from their labor? Get back to your work." Then Pharaoh said, "Look, the people of the land are now numerous, and you are stopping them from working." That same day, Pharaoh gave this order to the slave drivers and the foremen in charge of the people: "You are now no longer to supply the people with straw." That's the way you make brick. You put mud and straw together and it makes bricks. It says so. Pharaoh said, "Don't provide them with straw for making bricks. Let them go and gather their own straw. but require them to make the same number of bricks as before. Do not reduce the quota. They are lazy and they're crying out, let us go sacrifice to our God. Make them work harder for the men so that they keep working and pay no attention to these lies. So, you think the truth was that they were lazy? No, they were slaves. They worked all day, every single day of their whole life. And I'm sure their quota was unreasonable. And now they've got to do extra work on top of work. So, it's an interesting dynamic what the Lord does. He's causing tension in this story. The story of a true story. There's tension, like things are getting worse before they get better. And this happens a lot of times in the Christian walk, where you decide you're going to stand up for what's right, and you might lose a friend, or you stand up for what's right, and someone doesn't like it, and they start telling lies about you, and you get in trouble at school. Or maybe you start tithing, and you lose your job. But it's all part of the plan that God is going to do something awesome, right? So there are times where things look like they get worse when we're walking in obedience, but we need to love on Jesus and trust that He's going to take care of us, and have faith that He's going to pull it through, and He's going to do something really, really, really awesome. It is one of the most precious places to be in life as a believer, in a crush point, or in a tight squeeze, where if God doesn't make it happen, I mean, nothing's going to happen. If God doesn't come through, we're going to be in a world of hurt. And He has a way of being our knight in shining armor and always coming through and providing for us, or giving us a growth in our life of patience, or strengthening our faith, or giving us greater character. He's always busy doing something that's for our good. So we need to not be crappy butts. So children of Israel are going to start having a bad day, and God's going to do awesome stuff.